This is Rose Maleva, also known as the Notable Woman, or Auntie Roses if you like. I'm here with my very first video on YouTube. As promised, as I'd put out in my first welcome video to my channel, I'd said I'd be posting my first video very soon. So here it is. But before I start, I just wanted to point you out, just in case you're interested in knowing what's in the background. There are people out there who love art, who love all sorts of things. I've got a basket there, an African basket that I bought in Zambia many years ago. I think it must have been in Livingstone or in Mongu. So the women sit down and make these baskets, weave these baskets out of grass, reeds, and so on. And they're very, clever, and it's very, very decorative and very nice African decor. And the back, this one there, that's a painting done, I believe, on cloth, depicting a sort of a village scene. So a couple of hats there, and some women cooking on an open fire, and I think men coming in from hunting. I think these are very, very common in Zambia. There's loads of them by the roadside, and you can buy them. But yeah, I do love my my African decor. So yeah, so here we are with our very first video on relationships. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel, and we can share life and experiences together. So when I was thinking of what I would post as my very first video, I obviously went through my mind thinking, what should I do, and I thought, and I settled on friendships, because friendships can enrich your life, or they can actually devastate your life. If you've got really bad friends, they could make your life miserable. And so I thought, I'd start with friendships as my very first video. And looking at friendships, you could define friendships in three stages. You could start with acquaintances, somebody that you've just made, you're acquainted with, you just know, and then go on to a casual friend, and then close friends. But I decided to expand it a bit more because I wanted just to hone into to be a bit more illustrative, if you like, and just sort of expand it more. And so what I've done is I'm looking at friendship in 5 stages. So the 5 stages of friendship, and I hope I'll be able to go quickly through them today, and then in the following video go over some of the things that you can share, some of the pitfalls that we go through in friendships, knowing where you are with friends. And when I was looking at my very first video and looking at friendships, I remembered an incident that happened to me many years ago, where I found myself in a really difficult situation, if you like. And I was looking for somebody to share with. I was looking for a friend to confide in, because it was a really sensitive a situation that I'd found myself in. And along came somebody that I knew, and I thought I knew very well, and I decided to confide in them in the situation that I was in. And when I had confided in them and told them my story, I felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. They do say that a problem shared, I think, is a problem halved, or something like that. But anyway, not too long after I had shared this story with my friend, I began to hear my story out there circulating in the circles, and I was devastated, because obviously I'd only shared with this person, and therefore it was easy to know that he was the one, they were the one. It was easy, it wasn't rocket science to know that it was them. It was this friend that had gone out and shared my story. And now my story was everywhere, and I was ashamed. I was devastated, and I felt really, really disappointed and let down by my friend, sharing this story out. And so when I thought about doing this video on friendships, that was at the back of my mind, and looking at the 5 stages of friendship, I should have known where this friend was and what I should be sharing with them. They were obviously not in the circle that I should have been, otherwise they would have had my back. They would have been in a position to know that this is not a story that they should be sharing out there with everybody. So hey ho, so let's start our 5 stages of friendship. I'm going to start, strangely enough, with stranger as the first stage in a friendship. And I say it strangely enough because it's not really, a stranger is not really a friend. But if you look at everybody that you know by your relative, your blood relatives, there are people that were strangers at some point. So you didn't know them. At some point you got introduced, or you introduced yourselves to them, and then you progressed in your relationship. So even partners, love relationships, for example, even my husband was a stranger. I didn't know him until the time I got introduced or introduced myself to him, and then the relationship was built from there. So a stranger is somebody basically that you don't know. There may be somebody that, it might be somebody that perhaps walks down your road from their home. They're going down to the shops to buy a newspaper, to buy a drink, to buy milk, to buy bread, and you see them walking down the road, and the following day you see them again. You follow. So that's a stranger. All you know is that they walk from that point to that point and probably back to their home, or it could be perhaps. You get on a bus to go to work, you get on a bus to go to to town, and at the bus stop there is somebody that stands there every Wednesday because they go into town on Wednesday. You don't know this person, you don't know where they've come from, but they happen to be at the bus stop, and the following day, following week, they're again at the bus stop, and that's all you know about this person. You don't know anything about. So a stranger is somebody you don't know, but that relationship could progress on to the next level of friendship just by introducing yourself. So if you went to this person and said, "Oh, hi, I see you every Wednesday, going into town. I go into town as well, and it's good to know you." And if you introduce yourself, you told them their name, they told you their name, that person now becomes an acquaintance, which is the next stage in the relationship, in the friendship stages, if you like. So they've moved from a stranger, because now they're an acquaintance. You know their name. You might even know a little bit about, oh, I go to town every Wednesday because I go and pick up my pay or something, or I go every Wednesday to go into town because I go and help my daughter. So you know a little bit more, a little bit about this person. So they're becoming an acquaintance to you. You are acquainted with them. Now, this acquaintance, if you decided, so an acquaintance is somebody that you know of. So a stranger is somebody that you don't know. An acquaintance is somebody that you know of. You know of them. So let's say this acquaintance, now you decide to go a little bit further and tell them a little bit, they decide to tell you a little bit more about themselves. They can move on to the next stage in the friendship stages. They can become a casual friend. Because you've introduced you know their name, they know your name, you know perhaps where they live. They've said, "Oh, I live just down the road. I live down, Mumba Road, or I live down John Walk Road, and I live with my wife. I've got a dog. So there's a little bit more that they've told you about them, and you've told them maybe a little bit about yourself. Or I'm a nurse at the hospital, or my husband is a nurse at the hospital, and we've got 2 children. So you've moved on in this friendship stage to a casual friend. So that's the 3rd stage in the friendship stages. They become a casual friend. And if you were to go into town, to the market, to the shops, if you like, and you met this person, you could say, hi, oh, do you know him? Oh, yes, they're my friend from, my street or from down where I live. They're a casual friend. The thing with casual friends is you don't actually make a deliberate effort to meet them. You are meeting them casually. They just happen to be at the market on that day, and you say hi to them. How are you doing? How's the dog doing? Or the weather is good, and so on. They're a casual friend. So you're not making deliberate steps to meet up with them because they're a casual friend. Now, you can move into the next stage with this casual friend into a close friend, because now you could exchange numbers. Or, I'd like to meet up for coffee. Here's my number. Or I'd like to, go out to the cinema. Would you like to come to my house? So you're moving on in this stage in your friendship, and you now make deliberate effort to meet up with this person. So this person can move now into the close friend stage, where you are sharing a lot more about yourself with this friend. So you know who their friends are, you know the kind of sort of relationships they have, their family, where they live. You have their telephone number. That's pretty close because you've got their number and you know a lot more about them. The last stage of friendship is what I call the intimate friend. The maybe not so much intimate friend, but soul connection. You've connected with this person on a deeper level. And I'm not talking about romance or love in a sort of, between a man and a woman. No, I'm talking about friendships which can happen even, between a man and a woman, but platonic, where you are, you've connected with this person on a deeper level. And this person knows so much there is to know about you. They know your ins and outs. They know the things that you love deeply, the things that you haven't shared with everybody. This is what I call a heaven connection. If you've got what I call a heaven connection with this person, with this friend, they've got your back. You've got their back. They don't need permission, to do things for you. They just do them. I follow Les Brown, one of the motivational speakers, and he calls these kind of relationships as the bread and butter friendships, where this person, you bring the butter, they bring the bread, or they could even bring both the bread and the butter, and they're the kind of people that you can call upon at any time, and they will be there. They're not going to be asking too many questions about or giving excuses even. This is the last stage of and when you get a friend like that, when you get a friend that gets you and you get them and you've connected to that level, life draws on such sweet meaning, such joy. You can share so much with this person. And I am so privileged to have such, a connection, such a friend whom I've connected with on this, heavenly connection. We share so much in common with my friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. This is a person that can get up and go and see my relatives, can go and see my sister without asking me. They know my family. They know everything there is to know about me, and they're supportive. They're there. and I hope, you know, they feel the same. I know they feel the same, and you know, they know that I have got their back as well. So these are the 5 stages of friendship. What I would like to do in my next video is share with you the things, especially the last 3 stages of friendship, the things that you should be sharing with your friends to avoid getting into pitfalls. Sometimes we get so devastated when we hear that a friend has said this about us, and you say, oh, I thought they were my friend. Why, how could they do this to us? I think sometimes we do that because we don't know where this place is on the stages of friendship, and therefore we've shared things that we shouldn't have been sharing with them. It takes years for you to develop a friendship to get onto the last stage of friendship. And it also should be times of testing in friendship. You should test friendships, I think. That's my thought. So I'm going to end it here today because I do not want to keep you too long. I don't want to make the video too long. And I also do want you, you know, to share, put some comments down there. And of course, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. This is Rose Mleva.